One of the things that we encourage people at Zimpreneurs to do is to make sure that they are not only talking about doing things, but they are actually implementing. They are actually doing stuff. And so one of the advices that I just gave today to a young man who is trying to sell his music was the fact that if he is not active on social media, then it's going to be difficult for him to sell his music. And he might sell his music, but it will not be the same as if he was to use social media platforms. Okay, so for example, if he's on Facebook, he should be thinking about starting a Facebook page and a Facebook group for his music. And you cannot be a musician if you're not producing music. You cannot be known for your music if you're not producing but also distributing the music, or also creating music for social media. And I think one of the problems that people have is they seem to think that in order for you to post music on social media, you need to have produced an album or recorded a professional piece of content. And the reverse is actually true. What you want to do is you want to be able to generate that interest for when you eventually launch an album or a single. So how do you generate that interest? You produce content which is maybe just a minute long, 2 minutes long. You keep talking to your audience. So if you've got a Facebook page, what you need to do, which is what we're doing here, we are not just talking about Zimpreneurs, the finished brand, but we're documenting Zimpreneurs, the process of creating capital. So the process of creating Zimpreneurs is going to be well documented according to what we believe is the new way of documenting the experience that you're going through as you build something, instead of just talking about the finished product, either a successful finished product or a failed finished product. So we are not about that. We are about talking through as we go along, documenting the process which is going to lead us to our ultimate vision, okay, which is to produce a media company out of Zimpreneurs. So that was the advice I was giving to a young man who wants to spread their music. Obviously, because they're already on Facebook, they can open a Facebook page, but there are better platforms for showcasing your music, just the tidbits, just a bit of the music, so that people get used to, or people know what your music is like before they can buy the full album. So for example, there is musical.ly or musical.ly or Musical.ly, where a lot of youngsters are showcasing their talents. You also have Instagram, you also have Snapchat, you have YouTube, and it's not necessarily, I think a lot of the fear is that people are going to steal my music, but that might not be the case, because there are very few people who actually implement. So if you're going to give a little bit of what you do, okay, if someone else copies it, there's a record on your Facebook page that it's something that you've released in the past. So imagine if you're keeping it under tight wraps and someone somehow gets hold of it and they produce an album or a song out of your content, it will be more difficult for you to then say that it's your content, because there is no evidence of you having been the first person to produce it. So it is better for you to come out and do 1 minute videos. Use the mobile phone. You are waiting for a train, sing a song for 1 minute on your phone and just post it. Keep communicating with the audience on your Facebook page. Try to grow that audience, interact with them. And I gave him examples of other artists who are using social media very well, and to look at them, to look at the pages and see how they are managing to keep on talking to their audience. So if they leave the country, they are going to perform outside the country. They are letting their audience know that they've actually arrived in the country. So it's a way of marketing yourself, really, because you are the ultimate marketer of your own business. Okay, so the main idea here is that you need to take hold of your own marketing, which means you need to start producing content. You need to start distributing that content, and you need to use social media platforms, but you need to package it in a way which is relevant to each particular social media platform. Okay, so instead of using social media platforms as distribution channels, where you're just distributing one piece of content, you could try to be more involved in each of the separate social media channels or platforms, and produce content which is specific to that platform. Okay, so thank you for listening. There'll be more videos coming up on how we are documenting instead of just trying to produce content. So instead of just trying to produce content or trying to talk about a finished product, we are actually documenting the process which is going to lead to that.